Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome. I'm so glad to have you join me today. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that my videos have a lot of variety. And one of the things I like to share with you is what do I bring when I go on a trip or to a scrapbook crop or just, who knows, to a friend's house for the Super Bowl. We have a tendency to overpack, right? To bring way too much stuff, and then there's the other end of the spectrum where you go somewhere, you're sitting around talking for hours and days, and maybe you don't have anything to keep your hands busy and you wish you would have brought something. This is a different idea for me, and we'll see how it works out. What I decided to do was bring the scraps and the bases that I glue the paper scraps onto for my card bases for scrap cards. So I'm not going to bring the actual fancy cardstock base or any embellishments. I'm just going to make this front part. To do that, all I need is paper to glue it to, scraps, glue, and scissors. I can get by without scissors until the very end even, so I'll show you about that in a minute. So the way I got started was I took my scrap bins, and I did this morning, and it was super quick. And I just opened them up. I taped off a section right here on my mat. An A2 card, you've seen this cheat sheet before, I just leave it around, don't even make it pretty. An A2 card is 5.5 by 4 1/4. If you want to go down 1/4 inch and leave an 1/8 border around, that would be 5 1/4 by 4, and then another 1/8 would be, or another quarter down for an 1/8 inch border would be 5 by 3 1/4. So what I did was I went through my scrap papers and I took anything that would meet either one of these requirements. You'll notice on this one, I don't have a mat. I just have card base and then my card scraps. On some of the other ones, I have another layer underneath to frame it. Either way, there's so much going on scrap cards, you don't really notice it. So I went through and anything that fit those, so I just reached into every scrap bin one by one and I laid them out here. And if they fit, I went, okay, let me see, oh, that one's not going to work. If they worked, I threw them all in a pile, and it was just assembly line. I went through every color, piled them up, then I took my cutter and I went through and I cut them to the 2 sizes that will work. And I didn't sort them by size when I put them in here, but these are the 2 sizes, and they're in this box, and I'm going to use this 4x6 box to protect these on the way and to put the cards in when they come back. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to take all of my strip scraps. These are branding strips, these are random strips that I have saved. I have videos on scrap storage also if you want to see those and you'll understand what this is. I had 2 bags, I put them all in one. I probably only need half of this, but I'm just going to take the whole thing, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take these 2 glues. This is Tombow liquid adhesive. It comes out with more of it comes out than with art glitter glue, and I find that it dries shiny. So if travel wasn't an issue, if I was doing this at home, I would use my art glitter glue all day long. Has a super narrow bead when it comes out. You can control it better. It doesn't have a tendency to leak out as much, and if it does, you can't see it at all. It is true that this dries clear, but it dries shiny. Makes me crazy. I'm also going to take this glue pen because it's still sealed, and it says right on it that it's 0.35 ounces. This one I didn't see. Oh, I see, it's down there. 88 ounces. So both of these should go through TSA. If one of them doesn't, then I'll have a backup. I thought about taking the tape runner, but most of these strips are 1/2 inch wide at most, and I just thought this would be kind of a pain. So I'm going to try these, and then I have this big bag, and part of the reason I left them in this big bag is this is going to be my work mat. So if I'm sitting at my friend's dining room table or in a hotel, I'll work on top of here. Okay, I'll just lay my papers right here, glue all my scraps on, and then if I don't have scissors, because what I thought about is my friend is going on a trip and she's going to cross stitch, and she says you can take scissors. If they made me throw these scissors away, I would be heartbroken. I don't think you can replace these anymore. These were, they're not called cutter bees, but they were EK Success, yellow and black handles, Teflon blades. There's a new version of them, but you just get used to looking for the same scissors and reaching for them. So I have this pair, and then I have a purple pair that hang on the wall, and if they took one of those away, I would be so sad. So maybe I'll look around my house and see if I have a pair I won't miss. Like maybe I have some of those old kid safe ones, or I could hit Dollar Tree, and for $1 I would be less brokenhearted. I don't know. But if I don't have scissors when I travel, that's okay. I can take these, I can glue them all together. You don't need scissors to do this project. The only thing you use scissors for at the very end, or your cutter, but scissors are fine, is to trim the edges. So I can always let them dry and then tear them down a little and just put them in a bag or a box. I do have a bigger Tupperware that I'm traveling with, so it's okay if they stick out a little. And then I could trim them when I get to my friend's house, or I could trim them when I get home. So those are my backup plans. And as with any of my travel times, I'll tell you how it turns out, because sometimes I realize I took way too much stuff. Sometimes I think of limitations later, like Super Bowl parties are not well lit enough for crafting sometimes. I hope you got ideas. Happy crafting and relaxing. Bye-bye.